a very warm welcome to BodyProCoach, Mat Pilates, volume number 9. So today's workout is going to be all about whole body weight training. Also, we're going to be doing moderate to high intensity core Pilates. So let's get started with me. So we are starting with static stretches. Let's move on to our knees first. From our knees, we're going to go on to our hands. From here, I'm going to first start with my right hand. I hope all of you can see. So from here, I'm going to stretch my right hand, try and touch my shoulder blade on the floor. My left hand stays soft, my left elbow. We're going to hold there for next 15. Last 10, 3, 2, and 1. Let's switch side. Let's move on to the left hand. So I'm going to stretch my left. I'm going to soften my right hand. Easy. Let's move on to the next one. That's going to be a chest stretch. So I'm going to walk my hands forward. I'm going to try and touch my chest onto the floor and stay there. Inhale deeply, exhale, relax and try and be in the movement. With every exhale, try and stretch your hands forward. And last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's move on to the wrist stretch. So we are going on for the wrist mobility now. So first, I'm going to point my fingers towards me. Okay, you see this? So that's about mobility. Some people won't be able to do completely. That's only your mobility of your wrist. So if you can see me nicely now, I'm turning my hands towards me. The fingers. I'm going to walk my knees slightly back. From here, I'm going to try and sit on my hip. So I'm going to get a really good stretch here. Okay? Try and hold that stretch. So inhale, exhale, and sit. Last 5, 4 more, 3 more, last 2. Every exhale, try and sit more back. Last 1, and nice, easy. Let's move on to the next one. Now I'm going to turn my palms facing towards the ceiling. Okay, so that's here. From here, I'm going to try and sit again back. 1, 2, we're going to hold for 10 seconds. Nice. Now last one, I'm going to turn my hand clockwise inside towards me. So you see I'm rotating my hands clockwise towards me inside. From here I'm going to lift my chest. That means I'm going to go into a scoop. And from there I'm going to start going to circles. I'm doing 10 circles. That's your shoulder, mobility. Let's go on 10 anti-clockwise. It's a small movement, but an excellent way to mobilize your shoulder. Now let's move on to the next one, that's the hip flexor stretch. I'm going to take my left feet forward. So from here, that's going to be more than a 90-degree setup. Both my palms right next to my hand. I'm going to try and hold this. So the main idea is I'm going to push my pelvic girdle in the front, hands by my side, and hold this. Hold this for 30 seconds. Try and keep your spine neutral, spine flat. Hope you all had a great week. Last 10 seconds. Now, to make it slightly more challenging, I'm going to draw my heel to my hip and stay here for the last 10 seconds. There you go. And switch. Let's switch to the other side. So my right feet in the front, more than a 90-degree setup. I'm going to push my pelvic girdle in the front. So you have to see that your hip is squared. That means you're not tilting to your left. You're going to keep it squared in the front. Think that these are two headlights. So they have to keep facing in the front, okay? So push your pelvic girdle in the front. Your knee and your toe is in one line. Your palms down and your elbows soft. Spine practically flat, and stay here. So you feel a really good stretch here. That's your flexor muscle. Try and relax in the position and try and get a beautiful stretch. Last 10 seconds. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Now I'm going to take my heel to my hip and stay there. Now's the time where you get a slightly more active stretch. So if your flexors are tight, you're going to be somewhere here, which is fine. You just have to give time and consistency. That's when your flexibility will improve. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's move on to our calf stretch. So you're going to start with the right leg first. The leg which is in the front, we're going to stretch that leg. Okay? We're going to try and go on our heel. From there, you can bend your leg first, that means soften your leg. Then straighten your leg and reach your hands down. So you will get a really nice stretch on your calf as well as on your hamstrings. If you can't do this, that means if you're tight, You can keep your legs soft like this. But if you can really stretch and reach your hands down, fine. If you can't reach your hands down, that means if your hamstrings are extremely tight, because when you do a lot of sedentary work, that means sitting on your laptop, sitting on for one place for a long time, don't have much activity, your hamstrings can be tight. That's the time when your hands won't reach the floor, which is not a problem at all. Try and keep your knees soft and just pretend that your hands are touching the floor. Even then you will feel a stretch. Hold there for 10 seconds. And switch legs. There you go. So first, straighten your leg, stretch your leg, and hands down. Let's move on to the last stretch. So from here, I'm going to bend my right knee. I'm going to straighten my left leg and reach down. Again, that's a stretch for your hamstring majorly. That's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and switch side. So your right feet in the front, left feet close to your right, and try and balance and stretch down. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Let's move on to our last static stretch. That's going to be an IT band stretch. So you're going to stand hip width distance apart. From there, you're going to take your right feet overlapping your left feet. Take your left hand towards the ceiling. Right hand, palm facing down, and laterally stretch. So you're going to stretch your lateral leg system and stay there. And switch. So standing here. Left feet in the front, right hand towards the ceiling, left palm facing down, and stretch. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's start with our active warm-up. So for today's program, we're going to be having 5 pods. The first is active warm-up. That means every pod, every set of exercise, we're going to be doing 2 rounds of the same. Okay, let's start with our active warm-up first. The first exercise for today is we're going to be doing lateral flexion. So inhaling, hands go up. From there, right hand goes down and laterally flex down and switch. So keep switching your hands. Inhale when you bring your hand towards the ceiling. Exhale and take your hands to your side. We're going to be doing 10 rounds of the same, 10 times of the same, I'm sorry. So hand reaches to the ceiling first and then you bend. So hand to the ceiling first and then bend. Last two. And last one. Let's move on to the next one. That's going to be a roll down. A roll down is a must in Pilates because that really helps you to articulate your spine. That means get a complete trunk integration. So standing here, roll down is your chin to your chest. You start curling from your cervical, then your upper thorax, then your middle, then your tail, and try and lower down. From there, on an exhale, start pushing your tailbone first. So lift from your tail, your middle, your upper thorax, and your cervical. Let's go again. So inhale deeply through your nose. Exhale. It's a wonderful exercise to get more awareness about your spine. And it's a beautiful exercise where you can literally feel bone by bone. We're going to go for last 5 times. Last 4. Lifting from your hip, your tail, your upper thorax, cervical, and then crown. Last one. Let's move on to the next one. That's going to be a static hamstring stretch. So from here, inhale, same way, roll down. Now this time, bend your knees, okay? Keeping your knees soft, palms on the floor. From here, I'm going to stretch my left hand on top. My left knee is tight. I'm going to stay here for 30 seconds. My right knee is soft, my left knee is tight. Hands switching down. My right hand goes on top and my right knee is tight. And look towards your palm. That means you get a really good stretch even at your pec. Let's go once again for our active warm-up stretch. We're going to start with lateral flexion. So from here, hands to the ceiling, stretch. Towards your side, stretch your hands towards the ceiling and then bend. Last 2. And let's move on to the roll down. So let's articulate our spine for one last time. So starting with chin to your chest, curling in your shoulder blades. Try and relax your muscles. We're going to go 4 more times. Inhale, chin to your chest, relax your muscles. Go down. On an exhale, lift from your tail. Then your middle, then your upper thorax, and then your cervical, and then crown. Okay? Last 2. Last 1. Articulating your spine. Feeling your trunk. And up. Let's move on to our static stretch. That's your hamstring stretch. Bend down. Bend your knees, spine flat. Look up to your hand. Hand goes towards the ceiling. So right hand towards the ceiling. Right knee tight. You're going to feel the stretch on your right hamstring. Stay there. Left knee is going to be bent and soft. Last 10 seconds. Switch side. Right palm goes down, left hand towards the ceiling, left knee tight. Good job, we're done with pod 1. Let's move on to station 2. So from here we're going to take our feet slightly wide. We're going to go into a plie squat. That means I want your toes to be laterally rotated outside, heels inside, okay? So we're staying here. Inhale, down, slow and controlled. Exhale, up, nice and easy. Inhaling, lower down, exhale, up. Try and sit as low as possible. Gaze in front of you. And spine neutral. We're going to go for 12 reps. So your toes pointing out, heels inside. Knees tracking out. Let's go on for last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. And easy. Good job. Let's move on to the second one. That's going to be your side lunge tap. We're going to take our feet wide. We're going to go into a lateral lunge setup. We're going to touch or tap our hands towards the floor. So your feet in a straddle position that's slightly wider. Palms are going to touch down. And you're going to bend. That means you're going to go into a lateral lunge. So if you can see me nicely. So from here, tap and up. Inhale, exhale, the breathing. Good job. slow and controlled. The idea is to get a really nice stretch on your adductor muscles. Try and keep your spine neutral when you go down. So from here, back flat. Last two. Last one. Gaze in front of you. And easy. Let's move on to the third exercise. That's called as X squats. So again, feet going wide, like a sumo squat stance. Heel inside, toes pointing out from there. Palms down, touch, and up. In, exhale. Sideways. More. Last one. Let's move on to the next exercise that's called as reverse lunge genie arms. So starting with your right leg. So you're going to step back, hands are going to be here. That's your genie arms, okay? They're going to be your shoulder stance. So step back, tap down, up and back. Inhale, exhale, in and back. Try and keep your spine straight. Last two. One more. Let's go to the other side. So standing here, hands forward in front of you. Step back. Last one. 10 seconds. So we have a 10 seconds breather. You can sip some water. We're going to go in for round 2. Let's get ready for round 2. The first exercise, it's going to be our plie squats. So feet wide, yeah, toes pointing out, heels inside. Three more. Let's move on to our side lunge tap. Feet goes wide in the straddle position. Knees are locked from there to your side. Let's move on to the third exercise. That's called as X squats. So again, feet going wide like a sumo squat stance. Heel inside, toes pointing out from there. Palms down, touch, and up. In, exhale. Sideways. Three more. Last one. Let's move on to the next exercise that's called as reverse lunge Ginie arms. Last one. Good job. Let's move on to our second station. Now we're going to go onto the floor, lying down in a supine position. That means on our back. We're going to move on to the slightly intensive and core series. So, lying down. The first exercise is going to be a core hold or a dish setup. What I want you to do is you're going to bend your knees, stay in this position and hold. That's for round one. We're going to try and hold this for 45 seconds. So try and lift your cervical and your shoulder blades off the mat. Try and imprint your spine on the floor. Keep your gaze at your navel. You can assist your hands underneath your neck if your neck feels tight. Relax your head back down, tap your feet down and relax them. I'm sure you could feel the burn. Okay, let's move on to a prone position. That means onto your stomach. Now from here we're going to go in for a Superman hold. We're going in for level 1. That means I'm going to keep my palms on the floor, head on the floor and just lifting my feet. And stay there. Try and extend your feet up. Get that posterior chain engagement. Squeeze your glutes. Three, two, and relax. Easy. Good job. Let's move on to a kneeling squat. So from here, bending your knees, going onto your knees, hands on your pelvis, From here, inhale, lift, and exhaling down. Try to engage your abs. Yeah, brace your abdomen here, squeeze your glutes here. Last 4. Last 2. Let's move on to kneeling, alternate swimming. So from here we're going to take alternate, going on to a quarterback position. Your palms in line with your knees. Elbow stays soft. So from here we're going to alternate hands and leg. Think you have a hot cup of coffee just above your hip or your back. You have to see that the cup does not spill, okay? That means you have to try and engage your core and try and brace your abs. From here, we're going to do 10 each side. Good job. Let's move on to round 2. So round 2 we're going to make it slightly little challenging, okay? So from here, round 1 we did only a tabletop setup. That means our knees were bent. That's here. And we tucked up. This time we're going to try and straighten the legs. If somebody cannot do that, please stick to the previous regression version. So from here, we're going to keep our feet straight, hands by our side. You're going to press your abdomen on the mat. That means you're going to imprint. That means there should be no space that your hands can pass by, okay? Lifting your tip of your shoulder blades, hands by your side, and stay. Last 15 seconds. Last 10. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. Easy. Good job. Let's move on to our prone position. From here, let's go on to Superman. So this time we're going to do a full Superman. So first, inhaling deeply, lifting your thoracic, hands forward, lift your feet in the air, and lift up. And relax. Good job. Let's move on to kneeling squat. Going into a kneel down position, hands onto your pelvis. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, hinge. Gonna go for last 6. This helps you to train the pelvic floor muscles. Three more. 2. Last 1. Let's move on to our next exercise. That's our kneeling, swimming, alternate hands. So you're going to take your palms in line with your knees, elbows soft, shoulder right above your palms, in line with your palms, okay? From there we're going to start with alternate hand and alternate leg. That means right leg and left hand first. We're going to do 10 repetitions of the same. We're trying and doing slightly advanced version this time. The earlier one was tap and lift. If you find that you can challenge yourself, please move on to the second one. Don't forget about the hot cup of coffee on your hip. And switch. Last 2. And easy. Good job. Let's take a hydration break for 30 seconds. Okay, let's move on to our last spot. That means our last station for today. That's going to be slightly more challenging. We're going on to our supine position once again. So anybody if you have back problems, you can keep your hand under your hips. If not, then you're going to stay with the slightly advanced version with me. We're going to start with the first one, that is lower and lift. So hands by your side. I would want you to tuck up. That means lift your tip of your shoulder blades. Look to your navel, okay? That's your start point. That means you're going to curl in your thoracic. Think there's an apple between your chin and your chest and come up, okay? From here, we're going to keep our hands by our side. Point our feet to the ceiling from there. If you find this difficult, you're going to stay with this version, what we did already earlier. That's this. You're going to just stay here. If not, if you can do this, please stay here. Bend your knees and relax. Let's move on to our half bridge. That means your heels in line with your hips, staying there, inhaling to the ceiling, exhale down.
Try and squeeze your hips when they come up. Last 6. Let's move on to the next one, that's called as our half rollback. So your feet slightly forward, knees are going to be bent, and so from here, hands by your side, start curling, articulating your spine, roll and up. 1. In, exhale. Curl, curl, curl. Flat back up, curl. We're going to do 10 reps of the same. Three more. Last 2. Last 1. And easy. Let's go on to the second round of our last station. So hands by your side. Remember your option that's here. If you can go with me, you can keep your hands by your side. Lift your feet up. Easy. Let's move on to the next one. That's going to be your half bridge. Twelve reps of the same thing. Turn onto your side, up, bend your knees. From there, half roll up. So from here, roll back, sorry. Last one.
It's 10 hours.
Let's move on to our last variation. That's icing on the cake today. So that's a surprise for y'all. So today we're going to be doing something which is from intermediate to advanced level, that's called as the hundreds. It's a 100 breath pattern what we take. So we're going to be using sniff breathing. I repeat, sniff breathing. That means we're going to inhale 5 times actively through our nose. Exhale 5 times. So that means that's 5. Exhale. So you're going to actively blow out. Think as if you're blowing a balloon, so that when you blow out, you can draw your abs in gently. Okay? and we're going to pump our hands onto our side. So from here, going on to a tabletop, tuck up, look to your navel, hands by your side and begin. Inhale, exhale, in, exhale, in, exhale, in, exhale, in, exhale, in, exhale, in, exhale. If your head hurts, keep your hand. Exhale. In, exhale. Last one. In, exhale. Head rest down, palms down, feet down, and relax. Easy.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful. Let's move on to our active cool down. We're going to start with the first exercise, that's a cat-cow. So, palms in line with your knees. Inhale, chin to your chest. Exhale and up. Inhale, curl in. Exhale, up. We're going to do 5 times. In. Last one. Let's move on to the child pose and the bow pose. That's your child pose and your bow pose. So inhale, sit and reach back. Exhale, drop your hip, extend your spine. 2 more. Last one. Let's go on one last time. 5 times, cat-cow. In. Push your butt out. Inhale. Lift your thoracic. Curl in your cervical and lift your thoracic. Last one. Child pose and your bow pose. So inhale and exhale. In, sit back. Exhale, extend and arch up. Last one. Good job. Thank you so much for being with me here and doing a live Pilates workout. Request you to please subscribe to the channel, hit that bell button so that you get intimation of all our videos. We do videos on training and nutrition. Thank you so much for being here today.